Laurie Strode, the goddess of scream queens, or is she? We're going to find out here. This is Minor League Films. This is Scotty, and I got my boy Detective with me. He is your favorite TikToker's favorite TikToker. Some people say I look like him. I happen to think he looks like me. You decide. But we're going to do something fun. We're going to actually compare and contrast every scream queen that's ever come out. Start with Laurie Strode, in my opinion, who is the queen, the goddess, the Hera of scream queens herself. Not the first, but definitely the best. Minor League Films. Michael! Now, Detective. So we've seen every Halloween movie, and we pretty much compared, and we were talking about today before we even started this video. Laurie Strode is like the upper echelon of scream queens. You know, the character development I thought was pretty good. Turns from just a high school kid to not knowing her real identity, the adopted kid, nice and privileged, to a complete warrior in some iterations of her. You know, one would compare her with an Ellen Ripley or a Nancy, whatever her last name is, from the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
What's her last name?
Thompson.
Yeah,
you gonna act like you don't know.
It's just not a unique name. I'm sorry. It was Strode. Whoo, I heard Strode. I said, whoa. I said, whoa. With that name, she gotta be a badass. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought. So we're gonna do a little bit of a breakdown here and just run through a couple things with her. There's a lot of lore that even myself didn't know until I rewatched some of the movies recently and had discussion with Detective, because he is also a horror connoisseur. Some may even say he knows more than me, which shouldn't be possible. Shouldn't be possible. So we basically start off with her childhood. As we know, Michael Myers actually unalived her older sister. The parents then, obviously called the police, and Michael Myers taken away. And this is where it gets a little iffy for me and stuff, is that when her real parents, according to like the one or two lines we get in Halloween 1 or 2, her real parents just mysteriously died in a car accident or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a fan of that, but it's the 80s, fine, whatever. They want to isolate Laurie Strode, and her real parents are not present for the first movie. So she's already, and she looks, for her age, she looks like she's about 25 in that first movie.
Yes, she does.
Well, she was that skincare routine back then didn't exist.
But back then they didn't care so much about child actors,
Mm-hmm.
so it was common to hire someone in their late 20s, early 30s to play a high schooler.
It was,
yeah,
and technically still is, because we look younger than a lot of people that are in their 20s. If we be honest here.
Well, we have an advantage. We got that melanin, so that helps.
Yeah, you learn from me. According to TikTok, you learn from me, so that's fine. And we'll do it how we do it. But in that first movie, she's isolated. She has a couple friends. Seem to be pretty good friends. She's when I say she's isolated, I mean she has no family, no real support system as far as like DNA around her. Just a lot of friends. And Michael Myers is just there. Starts off the movie being creepy. He rolls down the block, bumping Juvenile. You know what I mean? And of course, all the white people come to stare because they're like, "Who's that? What music is that?" This is Haddonfield. Rap ain't in Haddonfield yet. The Haddonfield's like 12 years behind everybody. And he's blasting that music. He just turns around and gives that nice little look. Yeah, it's you. It's gonna be you later on, and goes off. And even then, when I was rewatching some of these movies, I didn't rewatch the whole Halloween 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Did not like 2 very much. So, but I was like, even her demeanor when she's there, I feel like it's not a demeanor of just fear, it's caution. I thought that was a big detail. When I see a lot of these new horror movies and some of the old horror movies, it's straight up fear from the beginning. When the killer is starting off mild, I enjoyed her just being like, "Oh, that's odd." Then be like, "Oh, I'm keeping an eye on this. I'm keeping an eye on him, but I don't know who that is." You know what I'm saying?
I do. I like the second one. I like the second one a lot. As a matter of fact, it might be my second favorite movie in the Halloween franchise.
I wouldn't say it's bad because I don't think hardly any of the Halloween movies are bad. I just didn't. That's not when I resonated with the most. I did like the lore in it. Like, we find out that the first movie when she's combating Michael Myers in the house. Remember, she wired up that hanger and hit him in the eye and stuff. When she's in the hospital, speaking of number 2, like right after that, that was a movie I missed as a child. Because as a child, I went from number 1 straight to number 4. I didn't know that until they had like a Halloween marathon one day where I sat down with my grandmother and we watched every single one all day. It was like from 9 a.m. to almost midnight when it came on with the commercials back in the day. And that second one, when she's in the hospital, there's a scene in that movie that I didn't like. Like, once again, it's time period, it's fine. The writing was still fine, but this is what gave me like an 8 out of 10 and stuff, 9 out of 10, is that when she has that dream sequence about her brother. I don't know if you remember that. To some of the knowledge that she gets in that movie is from a dream sequence.
In part 2?
In part 2. In part 2, when she's in the hospital.
I have to watch it. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, she passed out because she had a concussion in the first one, and there's like one. It might be 2. But I know there's one dream sequence where she actually sees that she has a younger sibling, or not younger sibling, a brother. And that comes out of there. That's not, obviously, that's not on paper knowledge and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, she has a dream sequence in there. And I thought that's the scene I did not like, was that scene.
Okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it's when she gets sedated when she goes in the hospital, and she's trying to escape and all kind of stuff, and she's I think she has to be sedated like 2 or 3 times in that movie because she knows that he's not dead because he wasn't there when they looked down, remember? And she's still terrified. And I remember when they sedate her maybe the 2nd or 3rd time, she has a dream sequence, and in the dream sequence, excuse me, she's kind of getting like a connection where she sees a young boy and she kind of deduces this is like my brother. That's a real sequence in the movie. It's maybe about I'd say halfway through. Yep. I didn't like that because just like your reaction here, that's kind of silly.
Yeah, like I said, I have to rewatch it. I actually really like that movie.
Yeah.
So I will rewatch it for sure.
It's just that part. It's just only that part where I really had a problem with that one. And I thought it was silly. But in that movie, we can just gauge one of Laurie Strode's feats in here. If you remember this part, when she is confronting Michael Myers, and remember, Laurie Strode in this movie is not walking properly because she had a concussion, and I guess it was a pretty bad concussion. Remember when she finally gets the firearm from Loomis, when Loomis comes in there? Donald Pleasance also, shout out to him, badass. That is one of my favorite horror protectors. I haven't seen hardly anybody top yet. As far as an old man that knows everything, not too many old men that know everything in movies, or old women that know everything in movies that like him.
In those first 2 movies, yeah, Donald Pleasance is a monster.
But there's a scene, detective, in Halloween 2 where Laurie Strode gets his firearm. She's able to shoot Michael Myers' eyes out.
Yeah,
with just those 2 bullets, laying on the ground at an angle.
That's a hell of an aim because I wouldn't have got it. That's a hell of an aim.
No one would have got it. But you know what? Not Michael Myers. Laurie Strode is like Eye-Boy from the X-Men. Remember, Eye-Boy can see for miles. He can see in every spectrum on the eyes on his body. She is a mutant. And that is what I'm going to establish right there as a mutant. That's one of her mutant abilities.
Is she an X-Man?
People, I'm gassing her up and I'm building her feet up because when we do Nancy Thompson in the next video, he's going to gas her up, and I need my character up here before they get to
like Nancy fight. Though. Excuse me, I like Laurie. I like
her. You can't not like Laurie. What do you mean? Of course you do. She's the greatest of all time. Now, this is when it gets iffy for me. I know you said you like the 4 and 5, maybe not 4, 5, or 6, but 4 and 5, 6 timeline.
No,
You
No,
don't
I
like
don't.
it. Okay, so we're on board.
I don't like anything after 3 all the way up until
The reboot.
2018.
Yeah. So I appreciated number 4 for what it was. I actually did. I like the characterization of her daughter. We don't have to get into that her daughter has psychic abilities for no reason. And yeah.
Isn't
You
that
remember that?
the granddaughter with the connection to Michael?
I believe that's Laurie Strode's daughter that had the connection to Michael, not the
I,
granddaughter. Jamie Lloyd is, I believe that's the daughter. Because remember, in the timeline, from the beginning of the timeline of number 2, they explain it off in like a line and a half of Laurie Strode married a guy named, his last name was Strode. I'm sorry, his last name was Lloyd. Excuse me. His last name was Lloyd. And then they had a daughter named Jamie Lloyd. It sounds silly, and that's what we were getting at earlier when we were confused about the timelines. It
Mhm.
sounds so silly. It's supposed to be a different timeline, but it's not. It's bad. So
So the lady who died at the beginning of Curse, I thought that was her daughter.
that's her daughter. That's
Yes.
Jamie. That's Jamie Lloyd.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave it alone.
You know what I'm saying? Is that silly? It
Leave
is silly.
alone.
So
Yes.
what I went through earlier was 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, and the Curse of Michael Myers are its own timeline. So you were actually right earlier when we were debating on that.
Mhm.
H2O Resurrection is its own timeline.
Yes.
I thought it was all together because in the Curse of Michael Myers in 6, they mentioned Laurie Strode quite a bit. And so I thought, oh, it's kind of connected. That is terrible. That is terrible. So you were right all along. There is 3 timelines. I thought it was 2. So
Always
we're doing
remember. Always remember.
but you know me, but detective, it's so silly. I didn't. That's just silly. Come on, man.
I'm telling you, between 4 and Resurrection, it's all trash. To me,
Yeah,
all of it is trash,
I like 4
including
though.
H2O. I think it's trash also.
See, I like 4 though. I really did like 4. I like 4 just because it actually had horror elements in there that I like. I actually kind of felt a little bit of fear, some eeriness, and the soundtrack, the music soundtrack, I thought was good. 5, I just thought was okay. You're just doing 4 again, but with him beating a lot more ass.
I know a lot of people did like 4 when it came out because they were just happy to see Michael Myers back.
Mhm.
You know, they hated 3 because he wasn't there. So when 4 came out, they were happy to see him back.
So that could have been true because remember I wasn't a connoisseur back then. But 4 and 5, we can kind of it had some kind of lore with Michael Myers and Laurie, but Laurie wasn't in them, so I mean it didn't really matter. I was excited as a kid seeing that because I thought Laurie would be in them because I'd already grown attached to her a little bit. 5 is when we get the introduction of when they put Michael Myers in jail. At the end of the movie, it's like it's almost like it's not a post credit scene, but it might be like a mid credit scene, something like that. If you remember when we get introduced to the group of the Thorn Curse, those guys.
That wasn't in Revenge.
That was Revenge. I think that's 5.
Okay.
Yeah, Return is 4, Revenge is 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't. That's when I was like, "Ooh, wow!" That was a cliffhanger I didn't expect. And then we get 6, where again you just mentioned Laurie Strode, and Laurie Strode isn't really doing anything. Of course, we just get mentions of him from Paul Rudd's character, who was Tommy Doyle, the kid that she babysat in number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the movie for a time when it came out, and looking back on it, I'm kind of like, I don't need to watch that again. It's okay. Director's cut is decent. The first cut is, I'm like, no, don't need to watch that. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'll take your word for it. Unless you say, "Hey, we're reviewing this movie, you need to watch it." I am not watching any of those movies.
Yeah, the director's cut is significantly better, but being significantly better than trash is kind of like average. So you don't need to watch it. Eventually, we're gonna have to do Texas Chainsaw. You've seen 2003, you like that. We'll
I do
go
like.
with that. We'll go with that one. But after that movie, as far as Laurie Strode, then we finally get another appearance from Jamie Lee Curtis in the Halloween H2O 20 years later movie. Starts off with a nice little bang. Laurie Strode is now like she's like what's she, the headmistress or something?
Yeah,
for school.
Teacher at some private school.
She has a son for no reason.
Yeah.
She has a husband who's I'm not gonna say he's not boyfriend who's not very manly. He's kind of like, hey, I'm here. I wear a suit everywhere. He's not like when I look at my men in suits being horror companions and being cool, I'm looking at Elijah from the originals. That's what I want to see in the suit. I don't want to see you in a suit that can't fight. But Laurie Strode in this movie, I like the character progression from when you get from the first movie, the second movie, then to this scene after the hospital movie where she's got her chest out. It's like, okay, my brother was gone, but she's always prepared.
Mm-hmm.
She's always prepared for something, for anything to happen. She'll just beat somebody's ass if she has to. That's just who she is.
I mean, in her universe, who compares to Michael Myers? Like if you've dealt with Michael Myers more than once, you're not worried about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody. So yeah, I agree. I did like her progression from part one, where she's just a high school student and has the shape after her for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I like part two so much, it takes place primarily in one location at the hospital. And I like claustrophobic movies like that. The Thing is one of my favorite movies. They're in Antarctica. They can't go anywhere. They're stuck. So I like those claustrophobic type movies. But even then, like you said, you saw some progression with no training. She shot him in both his eyes with no training. That's amazing. I've been trained and I could have done that. So, and then you get to H2O where she's not the badass she became after 2018, but you can see elements of it though.
Mm-hmm. There you can. And there's a lot about this movie I don't like, but what I do like is Laurie Strode's characterization of get the innocent people to safety. I'll put myself in the fire and beat him down. I could take a bus to Massachusetts, but I'm going to just go in here and beat him down. And when the sequences of Michael trying to kill her in the school, and Laurie Strode's on the tables and all kind of stuff, using her environment to her advantage. What I like about her is that it's almost like she is also the killer at the same time, but she's stalking him just like he's stalking her in this movie. Like she's not a little girl anymore. She's okay. We here, we're doing it. And then we get to the end where in one cut, she chops a man's head clean off. Most grown men at the age of 45 that have been bodybuilding their whole life can't do that. Laurie Strode had the perfect form. She might as well have been, and this is serious, I'm being serious here. She might as well have been a member of the wrecking crew in the Thor books with a magical axe because of how she hit the guy's head clean off. I got her beating the wrecking crew with that axe.
Not since, I don't know, medieval times have I seen someone cut someone else's head off with one swing. Medieval times. And that axe probably was not super sharp.
Nope. School axe.
So
one in school.
Yeah. So yeah. Maybe she had been practicing. Who knows?
Nope. She had been practicing. Natural gifts.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I ain't mad at you.
Now, of course, she swings on the wrong person. And this is where I don't like this timeline because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the same timeline, kind of, and then H2O and Resurrection on the same timeline. So Resurrection, I don't count this as any anti-feat or anything. I'm not a power scaler either, by the way. But I think this is fun. But she is in a crazy house as she chopped the guy's head off, and she's already engineered all the equipment outside to be like, hey, I know he's gonna do this and this, and this. He's my blood, I got him. At the end of the movie, she already had him by the balls. She already had him. She just decided, she said, okay, that trauma from me unaliving that one man that was innocent, I'm going to take off his mask and get close to him, and then I'm going to make sure it's him. And then she even kisses him, on his mask and says, yep, see you later. That is a badass scene. The movie is bad, but that scene is badass.
How badass is that?
Hmm?
How badass is that?
She's not afraid of death.
Oh my God.
She's not afraid of death. She says, hey, mwah, see you later.
That whole movie.
See you in hell.
If H2O hadn't done as well as it did, they were going to stop right there. But because it did well, that's why they changed the ending from Michael Myers being beheaded to one of the paramedics. You know, Michael Myers crushed his larynx and he couldn't speak. So that's why they changed it, because it did well. She didn't want to do any more movies. She was done, Jamie Lee Curtis being she. And she agreed to come back as long as they killed her off, which is why she died at the very beginning of the movie. Spoiler alert. Like, it's a little late for that.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert,
I remember that too.
For a 35-year-old movie.
Like I said, not a great movie. Very bad, actually. Busta Rhymes ended up beating Michael down, which to me, you don't. Doesn't matter what feats you have for that Michael Myers. I seen a lot of people on TikTok have feats for that Michael Myers. I'm like, the feats don't matter. If a black man that didn't even know who he was in the beginning, first of all, put him in his place and told him to walk. He was scared of Busta Rhymes. He knew. And that brings me to my other thing. I could have beat Michael's ass, because if he doesn't have that knife, what is he going to do to me? If you are even halfway trained in a martial art like jiu-jitsu or something, as soon as he tried to grab me, shapow, there is your arm. It's dangling now. It's over. But Laurie Strode wasn't in those movies with those feats, with anti-feats of him being trash. She was in the movies when he was at his prime, 30 years old, lifting 400 pounds a day, 8 sets.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be like peak human. Even in the first movie from '78, we saw him take the one dude with the curly hair, the chick's boyfriend, and he held him up with one hand. And stabbed him. I'm a strong guy. Max bench 425 in my prime, not now. Now it's more like 345. But he held dude up with one hand and stuck the knife in him with the other hand. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So,
So those feats originally were cool. Resurrection, she only does that one thing, but that one thing, she's strategic. She had that plan for years. For years. You know, I wouldn't have stayed in Haddonfield. That should have been part of the plan. But hey, Laurie Strode is a gangster. Now, then we get to the remake Laurie Strode. We don't even have to spend much time on here, because the remakes version of Laurie Strode was a little bit more realistic, at least in the first movie, where she is just a scream piece. She just screams the whole movie. Second movie, she's screwed up mentally because of the first movie. So she's doing that again. That version of Michael Myers wasn't trying to hurt her anyway at all. He's trying to bring the family back together.
Stop.
So, I mean, come on.
Cut it out.
In the first movie, he definitely seemed like he was trying to at least hurt her or drag her somewhere. But if you remember this, you remember the second movie where when they were in the same room together, he hands her the knife and hands her the mask. You remember that?
What movie?
In the Rob Zombie remake. Not the reboot. Not the reboot.
The original.
Not the reboot. The remake. Yeah. Remember when Rob Zombie's? She's just a scream. She is literally a scream queen in the remakes.
Yes, she is.
That's all she does. That's all. So that's all we have to say on that part. That's over. 2018 Halloween. I saw it opening day on that Thursday night.
I saw it when it came to streaming.
See, right here. That was a hell of a movie. Especially when it comes to Laurie Strode's characterization of, because remember, it scraps all the other movies except for Halloween 1. And I said, wow, you didn't even want to keep 2 in there, because they could have, honestly, but they wanted to make sure his eyes weren't shut out. He just got shot a couple times in the chest.
And he was blown up. People forget that. He was blown up. So was Donald Pleasance, his character. They're both blown up in there.
But remember, Donald Pleasance is such a badass that he survived all the rest of the movies.
I know, just a few burns on his face. Yeah,
because he's the greatest. I'm so mad he died. I wish he was still alive. He's the greatest. But in the 2018 remake, Laurie Strode is still like, she has a whole compound. She has a gate where these foolish podcasters come in there. She knows she can aim. She's had training in this timeline.
Yes.
Forget for 1 and 2 original movies. She has training in this timeline. She's had a daughter. She has a granddaughter. The daughter's husband I really like a lot in the 2018 movie, because I don't know if you watch American Horror Story Detective, but he's in every season.
Is he?
Yes, he's a weird looking guy in every season. He's just a weird looking tall guy. He's in every season until I think American Horror Story Cult.
Was that season 6?
I believe
6 or 7.
6 or 7. Yeah, it was after the sleepaway camp one, or it might have been right before. I can't remember. I haven't seen him a good one in a while.
Okay,
but he was in there. I liked him. Judy Greer, I believe, was the mother. I love her and everything she's ever been in. Ever, she can act her way out of any. She can be in any kind of movie, especially comedy, but she can be in any movie. She's great. I like all the actors in that movie. Laurie Strode was prepared the whole time. Like she's trained her daughter for years. Hey, this is what could happen. He's in here. Boom, boom. I like how she understood the evil from after the first movie. She just understood. Didn't have to see him. Didn't have to do anything to him. Didn't have to wait for anything. She was always prepared because she sensed this kind of evil.
Yeah, it's like she knew what everyone else didn't know, that his level of evil was almost immortal. So, and she knew eventually, because he wasn't dead, he would come. He would come for her. So, yeah, she stayed ready so she wouldn't have to get ready.
As the young people say. I heard that term a couple times.
Young people don't say that. Older people say that. Get out of here.
You sure?
Yes, I am. Yes, sir.
But I enjoyed that part. The daughter, even though she displayed, even though she didn't like her mother for robbing her childhood, which I guess she did, she was ready too. So that shows a level of Laurie Strode. She was still ready after not shooting for like maybe over a decade. Not even maybe, definitely over a decade. It might have been 2 decades since she escaped her mother's, preparation camp and met someone else, the guy from the American Horror Story. Laurie Strode in there had a plan. Laurie Strode didn't do a whole bunch in that first movie. In the second movie, which disappointed me to the letter about that movie, is that she did nothing in the second movie.
Laurie Strode?
Nothing.
I mean, she was healing from the first one.
I know, but remember in the previews that she was doing all the talking and all the speeches and whatnot?
Yeah.
That's really all she did, was talking and speeches. But it just shows how powerful her opponent is that movie, is when Michael Myers is so strategic, he can kick the car door of someone that's pointing a gun at him and make the gun spin around hard and fast and point at her head and shoot her.
Oh, again, we're talking about someone with no training. She didn't. So when we teach law enforcement, we always tell people target site alignment. All right, make sure everything is lined up. It's trigger squeeze, not trigger pull. It's like a handshake. And that black woman jumped out and she was just bam, bam, bam. She was just shooting.
And it was a 45 too. It was a 45 with a lot of recoil.
Powerful weapon. So if you're not practiced with it, of course, there's going to be a lot of kick, a lot of play. Come on now.
That's true, but even so, to kill everybody in that car, I said, damn. I said, he's either really, really skilled or they have negative skill all together as one.
And Jamie Lee Curtis was in her early 60s. So that means he was in his late 60s. He was pushing 70.
Yep. He's just naturally evilly skilled. And like I said, we saw how vicious he was and how durable he was, because when he got shot, stabbed, fingers cut off, kicked, punched, hit him with a bat until it broke. So he got like a blunt damage, stab damage where he's bleeding out, gunshots where he's bleeding out, suffocated, all that kind of stuff. He just gets up and kills about 16, 17 townsfolk, and then walks up to his house, which I like how they also portray him as a little bit faster than he was in the other movies.
Yes.
Walking. He has a speed like that. Remember that power walk that Bryan Cranston would use in Malcolm in the Middle?
Well, he's an old man. That's what
Yeah.
old people do. We power walk. You know, if you stuck him in a mall, he fit right in with all the other old people.
Who is we? You ain't old.
I'm not. I am not.
You
You're
said
absolutely
we.
right.
But I sat there and I was like, when he killed all those people, then he went up to his room and looked out the window, because in that movie they were alluding to him also having some supernatural entity, which is maybe that's why he's so durable, and then killed, you know, his niece, and then walked away, and then he began a life in the dirty ass sewers, eating dookie and rats for the next 3 years.
Oh my God.
He's a nasty man. He didn't shower for a long time.
He did not. He did not.
That is some nasty. Whew.
But
and in that movie, Laurie Strode again is putting herself on the line to not just, we get a couple flashbacks. She's more courageous than the whole police force in Haddonfield at that time. When the sheriff from the other movies that reprised his role in the remade movies or rebooted movies, it showed flashbacks of him being first in the force when he was like in his early 20s, and he can't do anything. He's not ready for anything. Laurie Strode is, even at this age.
Well, he was kind of stressed from shooting his partner, though.
Maybe he shouldn't have shot his partner, detective. Maybe he shouldn't have done that.
He definitely should not have. I agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, it probably just stayed with him his entire life.
Yeah. And the thing is, also, if you suck, you don't have to keep sucking at everything in life. He decided to continue to suck until he was in his 80s. 70s, excuse me. He's in the 70s. He just decided to never stop the sucking. It was a level amount of suck until the last movie.
There's a lot of sucking going on with no pauses.
Yeah, so. Well, no, because I was saying suck because we're older.
Oh,
the
we're
new generation doesn't know anything about suck.
We're older. Okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm old. I'm old, man. Come on. I wake up in the morning, I gotta put eye drops in my eyes. I'm old.
I think everyone should know you're in your 30s. Your early 30s at that.
Which is unk status to these young people.
If
we
by
call
young
people
people,
until they're in their
early
50s,
teens.
Yeah. But in that movie, in the third movie, I enjoyed Laurie Strode's preparedness, because you have to be prepared, because you have no indication that Michael Myers is dead, right? You don't know he's in the sewers wearing the same clothes, jerking it and not wiping nothing up, you know, eating rats and duty pies all day and drinking the sewer water from my toilet. You don't know he's doing that. So she's ready. This what makes Laurie Strode such a good person, because the people around her are so difficult to work with. Her granddaughter, who saw her whole family get massacred, a quarter of her friends get massacred, a nice size bit of the town folks get massacred, says, "Grandma, I fell in love with this weird guy who is weird at best, crazy at worst. Hey, we're gonna go do what we gotta do out of here." And Grandma and Laurie Strode is so intuitive that she tracks him down in his homeless encampment in the Michael Myers house and says, "Hey, I found him. He's evil." She's dealing with her granddaughter saying, "Hey, Grandma, F you. I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's my man." She gotta deal with that. So that right there, I said, okay, maybe Laurie Strode is really the GOAT, because she didn't slap her grandmother. So let's start there. She didn't slap her. Second of all, she didn't just go and shoot the kid. She has a lot of restraint along with the skill and the timing and the planning. She's Batman.
Stop. Well, to her, he hadn't done anything wrong yet. But some people you can look at and just see there's something wrong with this person. Yeah. But at that point, as far as she knew, he hadn't done anything wrong. So she just confronted him and was like, "Hey, stay away from my granddaughter." But look, as the granddaughter, sometimes people who have been in a certain situation, they seek someone else who can see life from their point of view. She had to deal with Michael Myers. The granddaughter did. So she sees this guy who's kind of a loner. You know, everyone in town knows that he killed this boy. You know, the kid he was babysitting, kicked him over the side of the stairs. So she's like, all right, he's going through some things. I've gone through some things. You know, she sees something in him. But Laurie Strode, Grandma Strode, she was like, yeah, it's a darkness in him. You see his light. I see his darkness.
Yeah, that kid was weird from the beginning, mainly because he was getting his behind whooped by some high schoolers.
Band team.
Band team. I would have thrown one of them band team members off the side of the bridge and just taken my day in court.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You're getting not just messed with, but downright bullied by them on a weekly basis. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. But Laurie Strode still came through. She had a plan. She knew exactly the moment when that kid was going to come through in the house. Boom, gotcha. Shot. Boom, you're gone. And then was talking trash to him when he was crawling away. Like, yeah, you thought you were going to come in here and deflower my granddaughter? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And then after Michael Myers came in the house, which I thought was a highlight of the movie, she turned around. She said, "Oh, Michael, you came up in here. You thought you were going to just bully me in my house, and proceeded to beat him down by herself." The granddaughter had to come in there and eventually help because, hey, she finally use common sense. I was hoping the granddaughter would go missing. I was really hoping she was going to be next because she's just stupid. It's just stupid. You're like 19 years old still doing this. Come on, man. You know your grandmother knows she's doing.
Young people make young mistakes.
No.
You know how young women, having raised one myself, sometimes emotions get involved and you don't know. I love him and he loved me back. So yeah, it was a case of that.
No. She just went through a massacre. There's no excuse. If it's a regular teenage girl, fine. She went through a massacre. No, she needs to be in the jail. The jail meaning death. Die from Michael Myers. It would have released her stupidity from this earth.
So much hate.
Laurie Strode handled business. She handled business. Absolutely. And got him out of there, and then proceed to put him in the meat grinder or the trash grinder or whatever, and then his story is over. What makes me mad, and on top of her feats, detective, we can agree on strength. We can't go speed. Strength, stealth.
Strength?
She chopped a man's head off with an axe from the school that hadn't been sharpened in 17, 18 years with one strike.
The medieval executioners weren't big dudes.
Yes,
they just knew the proper technique. There's a certain angle you come from.
Okay, but
she got lucky. She came from the right angle.
Exactly. We can't argue about her strength. We can't do that. She got lucky. That is a strategic strike of precision.
Dude, same thing with the eyes. She got lucky.
No, her ability is to pinpoint the exact part of your body where she needs to hit to do that.
Is that her ability?
I've proven this during this discussion. I've proven this. So sight beyond sight. She has agility. She doesn't get tired. We know that. She has durability. She's been stabbed multiple times and just gets back up to fight, and thrown into different things and gets back up to fight. Ingenuity. She made a coat hanger into a stabbing device.
That's desperation.
No, ingenuity.
That was desperation. She was in the back of the closet, cowering, and grabbed that hanger and just said, "Yeah, that's desperation, my guy."
The best I can give you is desperate ingenuity. We can put that into a category. And we already said stealth. I'm going to say stealth again for number 6. She is probably the most resourceful scream queen we have talked about yet. And this is the first one. So I am correct in that manner. So she can't be stopped.
You said strength. I will give you.
I took strength out of it. When
I will give you ingenuity.
Yeah, strength was in there.
Not ingenuity.
Because she did swing his head off with one blow. So I had strength in there. I'm taking it out.
That's luck.
I'm taking it out because she had strength. She would beat anyone else you put up against her as a screen queen.
Stop. I will give her stealth because in the 2018 remake, we saw things from his point of view, and he didn't know where she was. Like it basically flipped the 1978 OG version. Like when she went out the window and hit the ground, and he looks over and she's gone. Dude,
not just that
he
one.
knew he was in trouble.
Remember in H2O, she got the drop on him twice.
Yeah. So I'll give her stealth. Yeah, you know, maybe that runs in the family.
Yeah, but the granddaughter had no stealth. She was dating the killer.
Oh my god!
I'm not. I don't want to see her in any horror movies ever again. I think she should be in every other movie but horror. Cause I'm not going to believe she's competent. As soon as I see the trailer, I'm like, oh, I'm not seeing this one. She don't know what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? But ingenuity, precision. I'm making up stuff now. Life lastingness, durability. Hey, right now she's the number one spot. Sorry, she's number one spot.
We will see how she stands up to Nancy Thompson and
don't say Ellen Ripley, please.
Absolutely, Ellen Ripley.
She's fighting aliens. This is different.
Oh, what's different?
Say the girl from Leprechaun.
So we have one human and we have an alien. Do you think Michael Myers is beating a single alien? Yes. Just one by itself?
Yes, I am.
Is he stronger than a predator?
Depends on what version you're going to.
There's no version of Predator.
Rob Zombie's version is beating that Predator down.
Oh my god! So you're not taking the most accurate version. You're taking Rob Zombie's hillbilly version.
The most accurate version is 68 years old.
That's game. So even if we took him in his prime, Rob Zombie version, Tyler Mane played him. That dude was a wrestler for a little while. He played Sabretooth. Tyler Mane is massive. Massive.
Yep. He's crushing a predator.
Stop. Cut it out.
Give me one.
Cut it out. He is not crushing a predator.
Have you seen the movie The Predator that was really, really bad with our boy from Wonder Man in there?
Unfortunately.
He's destroying that predator, the first one. He's destroying him.
Not.
Yes, he
is not.
Yes,
it took a super predator with who knows how many different types of aliens inside of him.
No, not that one.
That version of
no, not that one. I say the first predator they showed that's on the ground begging, trying to tell humans, hey, my people are coming to kill you. He's getting that one. He's getting that one up out of here. He wasn't ready for nothing.
No, he's not. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
We're going to put a wager on this, and we will have a bet on another video because Detective is wilding, as y'all can see.
I'm wilding.
This is a wilding guess.
I'm wilding.
That we going to have.
Oh.
But that's all the time we have today. We just discussed Laurie Strode's feats, why I think she is a Scream Queen. She's not undisputed. In the next couple of videos we have going on, we're going to just talk about Cyclops from, as you're going to see him in Avengers Doomsday, but obviously from the X-Men. We're going to talk about other Scream Queens like Nancy Thompson and Ellen Ripley. I forgot her last name because she ain't worth nothing. Nancy Thompson, Ellen Ripley, Andy from Chucky. We have quite a few characters to talk about here. We're going to get to 6, and then we're going to have them. We're going to talk about each one. We're also going to have a nice little fun battle where me and him both choose 2 different non-powered people in movies. Can't be in superhero movies. Can't really be in action movies. And we're going to discuss the versus battle between them and why my team wins. So, Detective, if they want to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube under the Comic Detective.
Comic Detective, he has good daily content, great weekly content on all these matchups and stuff. Actually, all of his matches are pretty good where I can usually never discover where the person would stop as you do first to 5. You can find us on here. You find us on MLF Shorts, on anything. Find us on Kuronocomics at TikTok, where I discuss mostly comic book, comic reviews, and every now and then I'll do a matchup. But until then, catch you next time.